So we're just going to rip it.
Nothing changed from the last time.
We're just going to rip it, bitch.
We're going to rip it. Oh, that's
Welcome.
the ASMR. The last one started with me cracking the beer. This one's going to open with me burping.
Yeah, that, and for those of you at home keeping track, that's post beer.
Yeah.
My guy finished a beer
Yeah,
and then
started
he burped.
another beer, then I burped. Yeah, I wasn't a pre.
We got a few beers.
burp.
If you see, I cracked another beer open.
Yeah, in anticipation.
Anticipation
You're a
of
smart
finishing
man.
this beer
Absolutely.
during
Yeah.
this app.
Well, I think it's what the people want.
Mm-hmm.
They want us slosh talking about this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Cleveland Rocks. It's America's only Drew Carey Show podcast.
The only one that
Not
you're
sure
aware
about
of.
international
Yeah.
what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on.
You don't
but
know.
we're definitely the only American Drew Carey Show podcast.
You think there's like a Chinese one?
There's a German one, and they're just so mad about it. That's just how they sound. It's just, you can't.
There
help
would
it.
be, if anywhere in the world, it would be like Germany, Poland. It would be the Eastern Europe, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, it'd be great if there's just like in India or like the Vietnam.
Yeah.
There's two guys doing a Drew
Where
Carey
is
Show
the
podcast.
South Asian Pacific Islander Drew Carey Show
Yeah.
podcast? And do they know who Bernie Kosar is?
Yeah.
do you think?
And do you guys?
Do you think that reads to them?
Do you know who the guy was from the bar that we couldn't? that
There's
got a
one guy
massive
that-
applause
that-
break?
we have no idea. And of course, look, we are nothing without the work of the good people at the Drew Carey Show fan wiki. And unfortunately for that Mr. Louder's birthday party episode, the second episode we're going to talk about today, the episode page is completely blank. There is absolutely nothing. So there is a guest star cameo. You know what? I wonder, does it say it on the description? No, it doesn't say it. Like it says, like if you look at can you read that on the TV right now?
Yeah.
It says NFL star Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar.
But there's no, I don't know who the fuck that guy was that got a huge response at the bar. So
They got so many random little cameos in this because apparently Bernie Kosar was also, he makes another appearance.
isn't he in the Drew Stock one?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
Drew Stock as well.
Yeah, when they're throwing the party.
And
in the
but he
backyard.
doesn't even have a line in that one. He's
Yeah.
just kind of there.
Well, he's throwing the ball. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. He might have more lines than Little Richard.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Cleveland Rocks. We are talking about 2 episodes today. If you are an international person who knows the celebrity cameos, congratulations. You're older than us.
Yes.
Congratulations, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. That
Youth-
means you're gonna die.
Youth is
sooner.
fleeting. Youth is fleeting. We watched another 2 episodes of the Drew Carey
Yeah,
Show. Goddamn.
season 3, episode 14 and 15.
Yes. Starting with 14. The title is He Harassed Me, He Harassed Me Not.
One of these days we got to start with in reverse order.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna. You know what? We're not even gonna tell you guys, and we're gonna see if you identify it at home.
I guess it wouldn't really matter. We're going chronologically, but like the episode, the podcast episode doesn't have to go chronologically.
No.
That's just a construct.
That is the word. That's just a social construct.
That's a I've only had a beer and a half. That's a social construct we have created.
Yeah.
So this episode starts with Mr. Wick. It came in really hot. I don't know. I was
we
like,
jump right
what the
into
fuck?
it.
He just comes in and yells at Mimi and says, "Good morning, Mimi. You look sexy today." And I was just like, where in the fuck is this
Yeah.
going? But he
Wick-
needs to
Wick
have
out
a
here
conversation.
scheming.
He's out here scheming. He wants to have a conversation with her. He's hatching a scheme. He wants to sexually harass Mimi in the office.
Oh, hold on. We got to bring up. Well, her response made me laugh almost
Yes.
immediately. It was
So
just
they're
like,
looking
Mimi,
for a-
you look sexy today.
Yeah.
And she's like, I look sexy every day. What's going on?
I love the confidence.
Mimi is nothing if not confident.
Yes. I thought you meant the response that we're going to get when he tells her the plan.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
They're
that's
looking
awesome,
for a
too.
quiet place to have a conversation, somewhere where management would never think to look. And Mimi goes, "Oh, Drew's cubicle."
Yeah.
So they, again,
A place that wouldn't be bugged,
Right.
is what they were getting for.
So-
too. They think his office is bugged. I'm like, how much are they?
they got, well,
Listening
Drew
in.
got them on that like webcam tech. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some audio bugs lurking
Yeah.
around somewhere. But yeah, they go to Drew's office, and he's like, I want to sexually harass you. And she clears Drew's desk and just kind of positions herself on the thing.
desk,
And she goes, all right, whenever you're ready. But no, he has a larger plan here. He wants to sexually harass Mimi because he has found out that the office, in like their memo notes, is planning to celebrate his firing.
Yeah. Well, at least that's what it says.
Right.
It's we don't know what it means. It could mean something else, but what we get immediately is, celebrate Wick's firing.
So he's thinking he's on the cutting block here.
Which I love that he didn't also find a memo that was like, fire Wick.
Right.
It was,
well,
we have to
it's,
celebrate that he's fired
right.
next
It can't
Friday.
just be like, here's the thing we've got to do. We're going to have a party about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like there's like, maybe he's reading through the memo and like the third world labor that they've employed is too cheap. Find fourth world. I thought was really good.
That's good.
But like, it looks like they're trying to make keep every nickel and dime whenever they can.
Yeah. So anyway, Mimi not opposed.
Well, but she's not opposed.
She has her own.
We haven't explained why though he's doing this though.
Oh.
He doesn't like that they're gonna fire him. She's not opposed to being sexually involved with Mr. Wick
I
at all.
like that.
You're jumping it a bit. But so he wants to have to sexually harass Mimi in front of somebody at the office.
Yeah.
With the idea being she will sue the company with this witness testimony, win out like $1 million case, and then him and her will split that money and spend the rest of their life together in a tropical island somewhere.
Yeah.
Cayman
Islands. Yeah.
So she's interested in it. But like you were about to say, I think she doesn't want to pretend she was sexually harassed.
Yeah.
She wants to be sexually harassed.
She would much rather Wick actually make a sexual advancement.
You're going to
on
have to
her.
really do it.
Yeah, that's literally what she says. You're going to have to do this.
Yeah.
For me to be in. And Wick, now, not so into it, but it's negotiation. He's
Yeah.
like, fine.
He
okay.
understands.
Yeah.
He's got to play the game. So then they're trying to figure out, part of this is obviously going to be they need a witness testimony, and they're trying to figure out who would be gullible enough to not understand what they're doing. So
they start guessing names. They start reading through
as
a bunch
they're
of
guessing
names.
these names, the box that they're in shrinks down to a small thing, and the titles start running. I loved this. I thought it was like an editing error at first, and then I
No.
realized what they were doing, and it's brilliant.
hysterical. Yeah.
There's also a bit where they're saying, like, who do I have in the palm of my hand? And again, they're holding the Dilbert doll.
Yeah.
The Dilbert to Drew pipeline here. I just want to say it's so clear to me. But yeah, no. So then they start running through names while the titles are going, and then it ends. The title sequence ends with like Drew with his fist in the air.
Yeah.
Ohio, and then Wick points up. They break the fourth wall and goes, "Oh, how about him?" And Mimi goes, "Perfect." And
Yep.
it's beautiful little.
Yeah.
It's a smart thing.
Again, they just have. It's another one of those instances where the show kind of has fun with the medium and just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play around. It's a fresh art form.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Sitcoms, a fresh art form.
Yes. Well, in the
TV
90s,
sitcoms.
90s, everybody had a sitcom. In the same way everybody has a podcast today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are doing a very fresh. This is a fresh piece of art right here.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, we're on the cutting edge right here.
Yeah.
What you're listening to. Two guys in Manhattan talking into microphones. You can't find it anywhere else.
You won't. Don't even look.
Don't even bother. So yeah, then we come through that title sequence and we start then in the office. It's empty basically except for Drew and Lewis. And Drew is eating what he thinks is a hamburger. I guess Lewis has brought him.
Lewis brought him a hamburger.
And we slowly realize that it's not just like from McDonald's or Burger King or something. It's from the drug co test kitchen.
Yeah.
And Drew is like, I don't like the words test kitchen.
And to be clear, Drew's already like halfway through this bad boy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you fucking put a hamburger in front of Drew Carey.
He did not know at first.
He's gonna get halfway through it in 30 seconds flat. So yeah, we realize now he is basically going to be a little test guinea pig.
Yeah, and Lewis takes out a clipboard.
Yeah, he's
and
doing
like,
research for the company.
So how does it make you feel? Oh, interesting side effect. Are you feeling any mood swings? Yeah.
Any sort of vision loss, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's right then and there that Mimi and Wick decide that they're going to strike. They come out of the office, and it's like a big rehearsed speech behind Drew.
Yeah.
And Mr. Wick goes like, Mimi, yes, I harassed you in that because it's the only way to get forward is to get up, and you know, whatever.
Yeah, they weren't really doing it.
No.
They weren't following Mimi's rules.
No, they were verbally.
They were seeing if verbally they could get away with it.
But unfortunately, as he's confessing to sexually harassing her, Drew loses his hearing, or he hears like a loud humming noise.
Yeah, so I guess his burger actually is fucking Drew up.
It's poison.
Yeah, it's poisoning him because now all of a sudden he just hears a ringing noise. He didn't hear any of it.
He can't. He's whispering. He can only whisper. And then Lewis goes, "Don't worry, it'll be fixed in 5 seconds with just a giant feeling of pleasure."
Yeah.
And Drew's like, "I don't know what you're just you hear like an orgasmic release."
And then Kate came in too.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So then they're like, okay, we can't do it just verbally. It's not going to be enough. He has to see us.
Yeah.
So Wick kind of grabs onto her ass.
Yeah.
She's very fond of this. She's like
to
very
be clear,
pro.
there's this everyone's into this right now.
No, it's very consensual, but
very
we're trying to
consensual.
present it as not.
Yes.
And then he starts walking over with his hands on her butt. And Drew turns at the last second before seeing them because Kate has entered the scene, and she has platform sneakers.
Yeah.
It was such a weird aside.
8 inches.
Yeah.
8 inches tall.
Guess what 8-inch thing is making me happy? And Drew goes, who knows?
Anything?
Anything?
Any 8-inch thing?
No, she's got like platform sneakers on, and Drew thinks they kind of look absurd, and Kate's like, I think
They
they
do
look
look ridiculous.
They look fucking They look,
People don't actually wear those, right?
No, I don't think so. I'm not that high. I've seen platform sneakers before, but like a 3-inch thing. 8 inches is a lot.
It reminded me of moon shoes. You ever have moon shoes?
I thought the same thing. I never had them. Did you have them?
I had them. It was the coolest. It was maybe the best gift I ever got. I think I got them for like my birthday or something.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Now moon shoes though weren't an actual shoe, right? Like it was a thing you attached to your shoe.
Yeah, so
like a snowshoe that had a spring.
You wear regular shoes and you put them in, and it had like it was basically like a trampoline,
right?
Built around like a circular, but it was like probably 8 inches high or something like that. And then you just bounce around in them. They really didn't work. Like they really did not work. When you look at, I remember for those of you that don't know, the commercial was intoxicating. Moon shoes. Kick off your Sunday shoes.
No, that wasn't it.
Something like that. Yeah,
I don't think that was it.
It was literally like a Footloose parody. I swear to God, this is deep in my conscience.
There's no way it was a Footloose parody.
Oh my God! I want to like. I'm dying. I want to like play it. Are we gonna get
There's
hit on
no
copyright?
rules. Go ahead, Google it. It's not a thing. It's not real. Because I can tell it's moon shoes, and then like it's like the bouncy technology that astronauts have. Like it's not like a Footloose parody. I don't know. While he's Googling that, though, I will say Kate, the scene ends with Kate walking away, and she's like, well, don't look at me while I'm walking away. And she looks like a fool trying to keep her balance. And then a woman is at the filing.
Okay, I was wrong.
All right, thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad that's recorded. It's going to be my ringtone now.
Oh, man. All right.
But anyway, so Kate's walking away from the filing cabinet, and somebody pulls it open, and because she's not really well balanced, her whole fucking shit just gets rocked, and she just goes flying out. But then when Drew turns around after this interaction, Wick and Mimi are on his desk basically, and Wick like declares his intent to sexually harass Mimi, and then it's like just starts going at her neck and grabbing her all around.
Yeah, he really dives in.
Yeah, but Drew tries to pull her off or pull him off.
Drew really falls for it. Hook, line. They were totally right. Hook, line, and sinker.
Pulls him off. He tells Mimi to clinch her ankles. Like she's like tight around him. Like it almost gave it away. But so then Wick runs away, and Mimi starts crying into Drew's chest, basically, just like getting emotional.
Oh my God! But she's a good actress.
She sells it. She sells it
not
very well.
like a literal actress, like in the show. Like she's good.
Kathy Kenny's also good, but Mimi as a person,
as a character, is very good. It's very convincing. So she sobs into Drew's shirt. naturally, Shane called it while we were watching. He's like, she's going to pull her face away and all of her makeup will be
You understand the intricacies of Mimi immediately. But yeah, no, she does pull away and leaves, and then there's a whole stain on his shirt.
Her face.
One of my favorite asides in this as well. And again, it's not funny. Sexual harassment is not funny. But she goes, why did this happen to me? And Drew goes, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking that. Oh, man.
So the next scene, we are back at the office.
We deal with the fallout.
Mimi has been transferred to a new post, so Drew's kind of introing the person who's going to fill in for Mimi's job for now.
Joanne the lunch lady.
She's been working in the cafeteria for years.
She's the slop girl, basically.
Yeah.
She's serving up slop. She's just happy to sit.
Right.
What
That's all she said.
it as. Yeah.
And then Mimi is working in the mailroom.
Right.
So
Which still involves her walking around the office.
Yeah, it wasn't like they truly separated them. No. Yeah, as we see, literally in this scene, they run into each other.
Yeah. They interact, and Wick basically asks her kind of like on the sly, like, hey, how did the conversation with the lawyer go? And she goes, oh, your ass is grass.
Yeah.
Like, this plan's going to work perfectly, it seems, that they're going to be able to cash out the money.
And Drew's still, like, fully bought in.
Oh, for sure.
Like, keep them separate. I am going to testify at this. So
he asks Mr. Wick at one point why he did it. He's like, I just don't understand it personally. And Mr. Wick really leans into it, and he gets into I just want to lick her makeup off and all of this really charged gross shit.
Wick a little freak.
We've known this though. He is a little freak.
Yeah.
It's the European.
It's a running theme. And then even whenever they're interacting with each other, Mimi and Wick, Drew's like, sir, I can't have you anywhere near her right now. So
Ms. Lauder steps in.
Yes.
And she's like, listen, Carey, we have to talk about this sexual harassment lawsuit that's been filed.
Well, before that, can I just say we do have a cameo.
Oh, shit.
For Mimi.
It's such a blink and you miss it thing that I truly blinked and I missed it. It did not get as loud a response of the guy that we still don't know who he was.
Which is also amazing.
Yes.
Unless we're going to find out who that guy is someday. And we'll be like, oh, we should. But Bernie Kosar, on our way out, Mimi is...
delivering
mail, and she throws something at Kosar there at his desk. So Bernie Kosar is
former quarterback
for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
it was from 85 to 93.
Yes,
and they did a poll. I guess I actually read this about him. They did a poll in 2019 of most beloved Browns athletes ever, and he was number one.
Okay. Respect, but who's conducting that poll? Who's like, oh, we need to know the ranking of the best Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland is so bored. They're so fucking bored.
The local journalists are just like, fuck. Who's the best Brown?
Yeah, who's the best? I mean, it kind of makes sense if you look at the fact that they haven't had
much success in a while.
Success in a while, but also a good solid quarterback for years.
Some time.
Granted, I was reading.
It looks like they're about to though. Maybe shout out Shedeur Sanders.
Shout out Shedeur. Maybe that'll work. Or they're going to trade him. I read.
Yeah, they're probably going to trade him.
But interesting thing about Bernie Kosar, for those of you that just want a little sports tidbit.
Sports talk.
Browns in 1993, after falling from 3-0 to 3-2, Bill Belichick, head coach of the Browns at the time, benched Kosar in favor of Vinny Testaverde, and once Testaverde hurt his ankle in week 10, Kosar came back to the field, and after that loss, Kosar was cut, or he was released by the Browns.
Right.
He ended up getting picked up by the Dallas Cowboys in 93, the Troy Aikman Dallas Cowboys. And because they needed a backup quarterback, Aikman got hurt. Jason Garrett, another name for those of you that follow the NFL, was the backup quarterback that filled in, and Kosar backed up Garrett. And anyway,
so we're talking on a third string quarterback.
So all the way, fast forward, the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl,
right?
And Bernie Kosar ends up winning the Super Bowl that year. So did
he play that game?
No, he didn't play.
So he was just on the team.
During the NFC Championship game against the 49ers, Aikman was knocked out of the game with a concussion in the third quarter, and Kosar ended up finishing the game, completing 5 of 9 of his pass attempts for 83 yards and a touchdown.
But Garrett played the Super Bowl game.
No. Aikman played the Super Bowl game. I think Garrett might have gotten hurt, or he might have been benched. Garrett was a rookie.
Sure.
But ultimately, just very interesting that, and I was wondering why on his desk, so Kosar, obviously back to the show in this cameo, has a Cleveland Browns helmet, but then he has a Super Bowl, he has a Lombardi trophy sitting on his desk. I'm like, what? The Browns never won shit. Interesting.
And that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Because it's a Browns helmet, but it's actually a Cowboys Heisman Trophy.
Is that Lombardi Trophy?
Fuck. Heisman Trophy. God damn it. No, I know. Lombardi.
Yeah.
I'm thinking college.
He played in Miami for college.
I was going to ask.
For those of you that were interested.
All right.
And if I got any of that wrong, forgive me. I did very quick research.
If you got any of that wrong, if it sounds like he read from Wikipedia, he was reading from Wikipedia.
I was with him. Well, that is cool. I wasn't reading right from it now. I went and I did a quick copy and paste.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I picked a paragraph and I was like, this seems interesting.
Chat TJT.
Yeah, this is what you guys log in for.
I just going back to it, I do love that they are fully Cleveland centric. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but it would be so easy for them to probably get like bigger celebrities at this time. And they're like, actually, no, we want the dude, the small town guy.
We want the Browns quarterback from for 6 years.
I want the mayor of Cleveland. Like that's you know, the level that we get sometimes. Right. And yes, we do also have Donald Trump. And yes, in the next episode, we get Steve Buscemi, but that's not really a cameo.
No,
so much as it's probably him just taking a gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not like the guy that he was at this point.
No.
Steve Buscemi. What really blows him up, I guess? Is that Reservoir Dogs?
It might be Reservoir Dogs, but
I don't know when that came out.
I don't really know. I feel like he was definitely a little character actor back then, but yeah. Reservoir Dogs was right after this, probably. Right?
I think, right? Because this is probably like 97. Reservoir Dogs is
the 90s movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like 99. Like I don't know the timeline of it. But anyway, it's like, you know, but so his
this
bubble,
we didn't Wikipedia, guys.
Well, with Jamie Lee Curtis. But like these are things where I'm like, I can't tell if these actors are like actually like, oh, holy shit, that's like a good get, or if it's just like a cameo character actor sort of thing.
No, I definitely don't think that. I think, I don't know what this show kind of like place in culture this show actually held at the time, but like Drew Carey was a big, you know, he was a big celebrity then.
Totally.
So I'm sure these people were happy to jump on his show if they, you know, could get cut a paycheck, and why not some stage time?
Yeah, some fun shit. So anyway, after the Kosar cameo, we get Ms. Louder comes in, and she basically is like, Drew, we got to talk about this lawsuit. Drew's like, listen, ma'am, I'm ready to testify. I know what I saw. Good guy Drew. Again, we get these moments of like he's going to stand up for what's right. And Ms. Louder goes, why the hell would you testify? That's going to ruin the company. We need to kind of dump this and quietly settle it.
She tries to bribe him with a Mercedes for $10 or a pizza oven, which he really considers.
Really thought about the pizza oven for a second.
Yeah.
But if it's a nice one, like one of those stone brick pizza ovens.
Shit, that'd be awesome.
I'd fuck with that. But no, he's, you know, again, Drew's morals sometimes fuck him so hard. And I'm like, damn. And then meanwhile, you know, you'll just forget in other situations. He'll be like, I can't think of a good instance in this point, but like sometimes you're like, oh, well, that was kind of a dickhead move. But then other times he'll like fall on the sword here.
Yeah, I don't know why. He detests Mimi.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess we can say Drew Carey also, you know what he hates more than Mimi? Sexual assaults. Yeah.
He hates sex pests. So, so Ms. Louder goes, well, look, if you're unwilling to, Drew basically goes, I'm going to testify. And she goes, if you're unwilling to, you know, play ball here, I'm going to have to demote you back to the sales floor.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this not something that Drew could then sue the company for?
about?
What?
Well, I think as much as Drew also will have good morals, he doesn't want to get in a whole bunch of shit. He doesn't want to hire a lawyer. Look how that went the last time when he was fighting the First Amendment thing in season 1.
There's another good instance of why, he's fallen on the sword for this random.
Absolutely. Shit. So anyway, Drew loses his job. We don't know who gets it, but he's back on the sales floor. And the next scene, we see him and Larry. God, Larry, man.
Yeah, Larry.
I love that he's back.
Larry is apparently back in play. He's on the sales floor. He's in furs.
Yeah. Well, and so is Drew. Drew and Larry are selling furs.
And Larry was giving him the rundown. He's like, "This isn't your cushy salary job. Commission's king."
It's all about selling the people on why it's good. And I think they get into the ethics sort of conversation.
He's like, "This is a good pamphlet for you." He hands him a pamphlet.
Yeah.
And it talks about how these animals they're raised in a happy cage, and then they're given they're given water and 3 cubes a day, and then they're electrocuted. Mm-hmm. They're humanely electrocuted, or whatever it is.
Simple.
Yeah.
Just clean electrocution.
All written in a pamphlet.
And then literally as they're having that conversation, like a young woman comes in and goes, "Oh, I'm thinking about getting furs, but I'm worried. Like, what do you..." And then Drew's showing her, the pamphlet that Larry just showed her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like he's convinced her. He's won him over. He's like, "Okay, well, my folks would like me to get some." So she goes over to the thing and she goes, "I'm going to buy 3." And just first thing that looks suspicious, doesn't even try them on.
Just grabs 3 coats off the rack.
"I'll take these 3. "Oh, great." And she gives Drew what we think is a credit card. And then Drew,
Also, what annoyed me is Drew didn't even look at the card right away.
Oh, he's been so out of the game, dude. You know what I mean?
Come on, Drew.
He knows what a credit card looks like. He should know. But anyway, while he's like bragging to Larry, he's like, "Look, I just made all this commission." Woman pulls out like a red canister of spray paint and just starts painting all over the furs.
Yeah, fur is murder.
Fur is murder. But like, here's my thing, right? If you actually agree that fur is murder, and like, look, it's not great. Why the fuck would you then why would you spray paint it? Because so nobody else buys it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's like disrespectful to the animal.
Also, aren't you just going to get fucked and have to pay for it?
I guess, but she ran away before they could get her. Not to spoil the end of the scene here. But
I guess.
She starts spray painting it, and then Larry, I guess, is familiar with her. So she also handcuffs herself to like this animal display they have with all the furs.
Also a bad move.
Yeah.
Because at first, like, her plan wasn't to run away, I guess.
Well, yeah, and then Larry drags her out, and then we kind of like forget about it for a second. And then Oswald enters the scene.
Yeah.
Oswald with also a really good sly line while Larry's dragging this girl out. He goes, "Hey, Larry, glad to see you're dating again." Very nice. He's got a package for Mimi, and it's from the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
And the package, Drew describes the Cayman Islands as like the #1 money laundering destination. And he goes, "Oh, where'd you get that?" He's like, "Oh, it's on the label."
Yeah,
like,
it's on the stamp.
It's on their stamp. So, they go into this whole thing of like, should they open it? Should they not open it? And Drew ultimately decides, I'm going to, oops, it opened up accidentally.
No. So he's like, "What if I open it?" Oswald's like, "Well, then I'm going to have to borrow a gun and shoot you."
Yeah, then I get to legally borrow a gun and shoot you.
But then Drew's like, "What if it accidentally gets opened in the mail?" Happens all the time.
So it accidentally gets opened in the mail, and it's like a really nice toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Drew's like,
and
impressed.
by nice we mean like 90s nice.
Well,
it looks like a plastic piece of junk.
I've got it today now, and I'm like unimpressed with it. But like, I'm sure at the time it's a nice. Like, it's what I liked was he was like, they've got individual bread slits. I think he says. Like, "Dog, what the fuck was a toaster before?"
Just a big metal box.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just put the bread in here. I don't know. See,
I feel like I disagree with it because I feel like I've seen old technology, that was so weirdly specific.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like vintage hot dog cookers?
No.
They are unbelievable.
Is it like kind of like what I'd say like a hot dog roller at like a 7-Eleven?
No. So it'll be like, well, sometimes, but there are other instances where it's like a toaster.
Yeah.
And they'll have a slot to toast your buns, and then a place to literally
We got a bun toaster.
You have like hot dog holes, and you put the hot dogs in, and you cook the hot dogs, and then it steams the hot dogs, and then it toasts the buns simultaneously.
I'm
like, who the fuck needs this? How many hot dogs are you eating? that you need just the one hot dog machine.
I would eat a lot of hot dogs. if I had a
Sometimes I'm
machine
like, do
for
I
it.
even need a toaster?
Yeah.
You need a whole hot dog machine?
I don't know. Wait, so hold on. You're saying like there's like a hole for the
Or they like there's a compartment to steam the wieners and then another compartment to toast the buns, all in one machine.
That's crazy.
So anyway, what my point in bringing this up was, they used to have very specific weird appliances
for things
back in the day.
Yeah. But this doesn't seem like it's that. If I'm wrong,
this is just a toaster.
But I guess it gets them suspicious enough.
Yeah.
That Drew's like, I don't know why she would be
Still the Cayman Islands.
ordering something
Weird.
from the Cayman, and I guess she opens an account with the Cayman Islands, is what we learn.
Yeah,
because that's why they sent this.
They sent a free toaster. I guess that's
yeah.
something banks used to do.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. My bank never gave me shit.
My bank doesn't. My bank just bothers the shit out of me sometimes.
My bank sometimes doesn't even pay interest. My bank's like, 5 cents. So anyway, at this point I was supposed to say Larry comes back covered in red spray paint, and he's like, she got away.
She said apparently she yelled, "Bald is murder."
Bald is murder.
And then she sprayed.
I forgot that.
Larry.
Yeah.
So
from here, Drew decides he has to investigate. Something has to be done about this. So we cut to the next scene: the gang all at night invading a very dark Winfred Lauder management office.
Yeah.
Which is just the floor. It's Drew's former floor. They're bringing flashlights. They're in like masks and
they've
hats.
gone full Scooby Doo and they make jokes about it.
They do sing the theme song to Scooby Doo. We get a couple rut rows.
Yeah,
you're writing on my walls. Right. I think at one point,
but they go to pull some stuff out of Mimi's desk.
Yeah,
to go see if they can find more answers to what's going on.
They find mostly notes.
Yeah, they find a lot of notes from messages, I guess, that Mimi has been keeping.
That were for Drew.
Just
never made their way to Drew.
And they were like, honestly, a lot of them were, you got to pick up your parents at the airport.
Yeah. Or there's a whole sequence of a woman who Drew had been talking to that was like in love with him.
Yeah, or that was very horny, I guess.
I think call me, I love you, I'm horny, or something like that, and just never got to Drew.
Another fun Bernie Kosar bit was they were looking through the notes again, and Drew was like, "Hey Kosar, here's a message from you." And Kosar's sitting there in the dark at his desk.
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's from the NFL. You're the new owner of the Browns." And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Just kidding."
Psych. Poor Bernie Kosar.
Again, sitting there in the dark at his desk. What
he's
weird fun
so
throwaway.
committed to his job that he's working overnight.
Yeah. Anyway, so
if only Bill Belichick saw what Drew Carey saw.
Right. So they didn't have any answers.
No.
To in Mimi's desk.
Well, but they do find a newspaper clipping.
Oh, that's right.
And the newspaper clipping.
Oh my God, I forgot the best part.
This is a fantastic moment. It's a newspaper clipping, and I can't remember what it is. So actually, this is going to be a really bad explanation of the whole bit. But basically, it's like something innocuous, and Lewis starts having this like beautiful mind moment.
Yeah.
Where he's like doing mental math and connecting things, and he realizes that Wick and Mimi are trying to scam the company for millions of dollars from a sexual harassment lawsuit.
And he connects it through this. I don't even know the direction that he went with, like what inspired it initially, but then he flipped over the thing and it was a newspaper article that was just like two people in Minnesota that did the exact same thing.
And he was like, that means nothing. That's in Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's a different, completely discounted.
But anyway,
it's
Lewis really caught on to it, and then on top of it, by the end of the scene, Wick starts coming out of his office.
Yeah,
and
we all hide. We all
hide behind Drew's desk, and Wick comes out with who but Joanne,
the fucking lunch lady,
the slop lady.
Wick is sleeping with the slop lady, and she's talking. And the way, look, we all know. As we said before on this podcast, he's a little freak.
Yeah.
He's apologizing for saying mommy when she was spanking him. It
just comes out naturally.
It's innate. And she's asking, can we keep doing this while you're doing the sexual harassment lawsuit? And he goes, yeah, that's fine. I'm hoping actually when I scheme this that I'll be on an island far away and I'll take you with me.
Yeah.
So this is where we realize, and Drew realizes the whole plan that they have is going to go kaput because he's going to leave Mimi in the dust.
Yes, and he's going to take the Joanne the slop lady instead.
Yeah, slop lady's going to to the Cayman Islands.
Oh, man.
Wick
really has it. Wick literally says, I'm going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
So,
and also what annoys Drew here, I should say, is that they decide to go through his candy drawer post-coitus.
Yeah.
Post-coitus
Sweet
candy.
for his sweet.
For his sweet. Pisses Drew off. Drew almost reveals that he's in the office just to kind of give Wick the time of day for it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, it's at this point that he's like, I need to confront Mimi and Wick about this. So he invites both of them in the middle of the night to his house. Drew is sitting in a dark bedroom, or his living room, and we get a knock on the door. He goes up and answers it. It's Mimi, and Mimi's like, you called me in the middle of the night. It's all dark in here. If I hear something unzipping, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And he goes, nothing's gonna unzip. And then he turns on the lights, and
The
we
whole
see
gang's there.
Everybody's there. They all yell surprise.
And they're like,
Mimi thinks it's a birthday party.
Right. And then we're like, we're on to your plan entirely with Wick.
So to confess, basically, tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
And she explains the whole thing. Me and Mr. Wick, once we win this money, we're going to go to the Cayman Islands together
And like she is
live
still
a tropical
so
life.
in love with him.
Yeah.
And that's when Drew realizes the leverage he has to reveal that he's sleeping with slop lady Joanne.
Yeah. He's like, well, listen, we saw him sleeping with Joanne. He's gonna leave you, girl.
Yeah.
Heartbroken. But luckily, at this exact time, we hear another knock on the door, and it's Wick.
Yes.
And Wick comes in. Same situation. They shut out the lights and everything. And Wick says almost verbatim what Mimi says, but he goes, if I hear a belt unbuckling, I'm leaving.
Drew's like, who do you think people think I am?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Sex pest Drew.
Yeah.
So same thing. We turn on the lights. Mimi starts just slapping the shit out of Mr. Wick. It feels like every time he turns his head, she's slapping it.
Yeah, because now she's upset. Yeah. Obviously, she's on a plan.
They had an agreement.
It's not going to work out. She's going to leave. He's going to leave her.
Yeah.
And he confesses to it, basically. Well, he is like, no. It wasn't like that.
He understands now. He misread the memo.
Yeah.
So there's a whole piece of information we're getting right now, which is that they weren't celebrating Wick being fired.
Right.
They were celebrating all of the money they have saved by Mr. Wick firing employees at random, as he loves to do. So it's all good. He's going to keep his job. Mimi can keep her job, and she can drop this lawsuit.
Drew's going to get his old job back.
It's like nothing ever happened.
Right?
Wrong. Because Mimi is now fucking pissed.
And she has this leverage over him. She's not going to drop the shoot. She tells him, I'm not dropping.
He actually did the thing.
He actually did.
So she's like, I'm keeping this lawsuit going, and it's,
Although now she lost her witness. Drew's not going to...
Probably not.
Why would Drew testify in that case then?
Right. Also, I mean...
Because Drew hates Mimi, and Mimi was just scheming, so...
And in the next episode, he gets his job back. So
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But Mimi says she's not going to drop it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where this episode leaves off. They have a credit scene again. They're back reading the messages.
Yeah, one of my favorites is that Michael Jordan called, and he loved Buzz Beer so much that he would endorse it for free.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No, you're not, Mr. Jordan.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Would have helped. But yeah, so that's this episode. Shout out Bernie Kosar.
Yeah. Shout out Brown's.
Sorry you got a rough deal.
Best
but
Brown's.
You got a ring.
Yeah, best Brown ever. He's got as many rings as Kenny Pickett.
And they got it the same way. By the way, what are the Steelers doing for the quarterback?
Beats me, dude. Mason Rudolph?
Oh, maybe. Oh, I think it might be. I think this a young up and comer from the New York circuit, maybe.
Are you talking about Aaron?
I'm talking about Rodgers.
I don't think they're going to sign him.
All right.
I really don't. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to play.
Oh.
But if
I will say this, it sounds like he enjoys doing what we're doing more. He likes talking shit into a microphone more than he likes playing football. Playing football probably pays more though.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Sports talk.
Anyway, this is why you guys tune in. Maybe by the time this comes out, apologies if Aaron Rodgers signs for the Steelers.
Yeah.
If he does, you're never going to hear from me again.
TJ's going to drop off the podcast. If by the time this episode comes out, he is playing for the Steelers, I just want to say, ha ha, Anyway.
All right.
Next episode.
15.
Mr. Louder's birthday party. I did have to check
Louder,
multiple
say.
sources, exactly, to make sure it wasn't a typo. But no, it is Mr. Louder's birthday party.
We thought Mr. Louder was dead.
Well,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You thought mostly right. This starts with, I think it's one of the funniest and most beautiful openings
this
we've
is
had
like
in a minute.
art.
Yeah.
This is fucking art.
It reminds me, well, we can get to it in a second, but it starts with Drew digging through the fridge late at night, and he gets like a turkey leg. Like
As
big,
Drew does.
You know.
Also, that is a hell of a midnight snack.
Turkey leg?
I was kind of like, I should keep some turkey legs in the house.
Yeah, it's not bad, but just don't look at your heart rate. I think overnight because it's not gonna go well. But yeah, so then Nikki comes in like in a gold gown, and Drew goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then she starts like shushing him, very sensually touching his lips.
Yeah,
and then she grabs the turkey leg and starts just fucking chowing down on it. And then we get like this weird, romantic, sexually charged food scene.
Yeah,
like romantic music, a bed plays underneath.
It's shot over like they keep doing all these fades and like Drew's laying on the table and she's running pizza across his chest
and he's got to guess the ingredients.
They've got blindfolds on and he's dumping. First it's whipped cream and then
I thought it was easy cheese. I thought it was like sprayed cheese.
It might have been sprayed cheese, but it ends
peanut butter and we get maple syrup and then it ends with ketchup.
Yeah.
But they can't get the ketchup out the bottle.
Out of the bottle. He's smacking the back of the bottle, so then
he's working a knife in there. She's blindfolded with her tongue out. It's very like
the knife was hysterical.
Yes.
The knife is, we've all been there trying to get that fucking ketchup.
It's very erotic with the whole thing. It's just shot very nice. It reminds me of a short film you did when back in Philly.
Yeah.
Just a Taste, I think.
Yeah,
right?
with all the food and
that was more
about
a negative relationship. It was a friend of the show, Lyle Drescher.
Yes, friend. Yeah, he's been on the show. Lyle went ahead and binge ate for me to the point, and it was just supposed to be a date. But anyway, my favorite part of that was he did all the binge eating, and maybe they had to do it for this scene that Drew and Nikki were in. But I had a bucket next to Lyle, and every time he'd eat, like it was just pancakes, eggs, bacon, but it was a lot, and we had to keep doing retakes. Making the food sucked.
Yeah,
but he would eat, and then he'd just take the bucket and spit.
Well, and I'm sure that was like an all day thing, right? Like that wasn't, you didn't make it throughout the day. You made it all in one sitting.
I made
and
it in the morning and I was like, all right, eat up.
Yeah. All right, here it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's cold pancakes now.
Yeah.
Fucking go to town. Yeah. Damn.
Anyway.
But that's what this reminds me of. And then it ends with the two of them, it's morning now. We see sunshine coming through the windows and we get this slow zoom into them laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And Nikki's like, "Do you want to go again?" And Drew's like, "I'm not a machine." But goes,
again, just
fine. Get a can opener.
Re-emphasizing, the Nikki's fully in this binge eating era of her life.
Well, because the last podcast episode we talked about how she's eating them chicken wings and she feels gross. That comes back now.
Coming back.
We get it's Fat Nikki era.
Yeah.
So titles come out. We see Wick then confronting Mimi in the first scene post titles.
Mimi's wearing a sweatshirt that says victim.
Yeah, it's her face and then bedazzled letters that say victim right above it. And she's so not subtle. It's lovely.
And she's fully embraced this, I'm gonna fuck Wick here.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck him over. So he's like apologizing and begging her to drop this lawsuit. And like, is there anything I can do? And she's got some things up her sleeve. She goes, well, maybe I'll think about it if you read this out loud in front of onto the speaker.
Mimi be scheming.
Yeah, so she basically has Wick go over to the...
he goes over to the PA.
Yes, and he reads out loud. He goes, attention, everybody. I'm a little mama's boy with girly hips and, small hands and all this and that. Just really emasculating, just sad stuff.
And then Mimi's like, I thought about it. No.
Wick tries to save it by saying that was a reading from the Diary of Drew Carey.
Next up, tomorrow, the high school years.
There you go.
But
so this is
in
where
this scene, this is where we get our next
we get
cameo.
the lawyer.
Yeah,
we get sexual harassment lawyer Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
there is a name. I think it's Mr. Marchetti. It said in the credits. I didn't get a first name. We agreed while we were watching this. We're just gonna call him Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, this is just lawyer Steve, attorney Buscemi.
Yeah.
I like 90s Buscemi was kind of handsome.
He could get it.
Like there was a way because there's this moment with him and Nikki where like he wants to get a real understanding with the case. Mimi, sorry, yeah, and he sits her down and they sit down at Drew's desk and they talk, and he like sits down and he leans forward and he's got that eyebrow and I'm like, I used to always think Buscemi was kind of like it's kind of just like a freak. You know what I'm thinking of? When did Fargo the movie come out?
Ooh. That's also 90s. I want to say like 95. Probably
yeah,
when
that would have been a big one for him.
Yeah,
I think
true
early.
Too. Yeah,
Oh god, he fucking crushes in that. Anyway, Buscemi was actually pretty handsome in this to the point. I never saw him in that light, but he was like, he was trying to get all the details from Mimi. You know, he said he's the best sexual harassment lawyer
in Ohio.
In Ohio,
yeah.
So. But the one thing he immediately notices is
he understands, I think, how the court game works.
Yeah,
and he realizes it's appearance is king.
Mimi cannot get sympathy from a jury. Basically, he said she's too much of a hard ass. He didn't like the way she was looking at him, and
she looks aggressive. The makeup is too aggressive. He's like, we got to change your appearance here.
And she's like, I'm not changing who I am.
Right. It was respect to Mimi for that. But yeah,
don't change, girl.
No, be you. But yeah, so he's like, well, then I'm not going to be able to help you. And then she starts like kind of sobbing and breaking down.
Yeah.
And Buscemi, gives in and he goes, okay, I'll help you. I'm sorry. And she goes, see, I was acting. I got you.
How was that? And he's like, I'll take the case.
Yeah. So I do also just want to say Steve Buscemi, because you're saying he was kind of hotter in the 90s. I think that is correct. He's always had weird features.
Yeah.
I think he has grown out of his face in a weird way. Like, I think that's the reason, like, right now. Also, he's just aged. But, like, he looks weirder now than the 90s.
Right.
Some people grow into their appearance.
No, yeah,
he has grown out of it.
That's 100% correct. Yeah.
Steve, I hope if you're listening, I'm a big fan.
We're big fans.
You look crazy.
You look insane now. We have to. You're an American treasure, so we have to keep putting you on TV.
Yeah,
but it's rough in movies.
No, he's a very nice guy from everything I hear from people who have worked with him. New York firefighter. Anyway,
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So after this, then we get another meeting at Drew's desk, but this time it's actually Drew, and it's Ms. Lauder. She wants to invite Drew to the annual Mr. Lauder's birthday party that she has. So it turns out Mr. Lauder is dead. He's been dead for a while, but he has recorded speeches every year to be played for his birthday.
Yeah.
And it's like apparently like an event that she describes as like all of the A-list Cleveland people come out, which who the fuck could be the A-list Cleveland
I love
people?
the A-list of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, Bernie Kosar, Drew Carey.
Yeah.
So, Real Housewives of Cleveland, Ohio. So she invites Drew. There's also, in addition to him playing a speech, they also have 2 or 3 newcomers toast Mr. Lauder.
I was just going to say, they also reveal here that she had Mr. Lauder cryogenically frozen.
Oh yes, they preserved his body.
They did preserve his body
for a period,
and he would still be frozen if she had a surge protector.
Right.
So
it
they
sounds
lost
like
him
something tragic happened.
Yeah, and they lost him. He thawed out, and they had to throw him away.
You don't want to keep 180 pounds of bad Lauder sticking around, I think. So
yeah, but anyway,
Drew though has been given the honor of being one of these toasties.
Yes,
or toasters. Not toaster though.
Toaster strudels.
Toaster strudels. He's been given the honor of giving Mr. Lauder a toast.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, nobody else would do it? And she goes, that's exactly right. But the twist here is Drew's incentivized to do it because the winner, the best toast, I don't know how you win best toast.
Yeah.
But the best toast gets 500 shares of Winfred Lauder's stock.
Ooh, boy, you
which
know
in the
how that
90s,
stock's. You know how that stock's going.
If you kept that
Department.
stock
If you
today,
if you got department store stock in the 90s, you're probably sitting real pretty. That's like Apple computers.
well, a lot of them are. Think about this for a second. A lot of
That was a joke.
a lot of those department stores are now privatized, right? Like,
or no, I feel like a lot of them are out of business, or they
well, a lot of them are out of
because
business,
Macy's or
right,
something,
but
or
like
the mall.
they get privatized by like a venture capitalist company.
Yeah.
And then when they get privatized, you get a payout, I think. So if you had like $500 worth of stock in like Strawbridges or something.
True, okay.
It might have made you a little bit of money in like 2004 or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It is weird though to imagine a department store stock.
Yeah. Like, just
We couldn't meme stock it the way people have like AMC stock or
Right.
you know, whatever, GameStop. Yeah.
guys-
So Drew's like, fuck it, I'll do it. We're gonna go. It's gonna be great. The one thing is, it's expected that he brings a date. So
yeah. So of course he's gonna ask Nikki,
he's gonna bring Nikki.
but I mean, you immediately know, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Nikki was binge eating. She clearly doesn't feel confident right now.
Right. We've already been advertised that, basically.
Yeah.
So we cut then to Drew doing some research on Mr. Lauder, trying to write the best possible speech.
Yep.
He's with the gang. They're all looking through books. Turns out Mr. Lauder, not that good of a guy.
No,
Pretty
turns out
bad guy.
they were trying to determine if they were like, oh, he coined the term sweatshop.
Yes.
And they were like, oh, he was pro workers' rights. No, he literally wanted to create a shop where his workers sweat.
Yeah, he's quoted as being like, I want them to sweat so hard that in the shop that we call it the sweatshop.
Yeah.
He was also an alcoholic, apparently. All this shit. It's just not good stuff. So Drew's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But he'll figure it out. What he's really banking on is the gang to step in. They are all going, even though it's Drew being,
I
the
didn't
one giving
realize
the
they were
toast.
all going.
Yeah, Drew asks them to like.
I thought it was a surprise that Oswald and Lewis were there.
No. He says at one point that they're the AV people, basically. So like that's
Yeah.
why you see them. They're running lights. They're doing audio cues, this, that, the other. But he's like, the real reason I want you guys there isn't for light stuff. It's I want you to laugh really hard. So then they go through rehearsing
That's
different
why they were doing the laugh
laughs.
bit.
Yeah. They think they land on like laughing at your boss's bad joke.
Yeah.
So and it's at this point that Nikki comes in, and she's it's that night. Obviously, I guess I should say they're still writing this speech, and Drew's like dressed ready to go, and Nikki's like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. I just feel like I don't look great. I'm fat, Drew. And then she takes off this like little black dress or cover that she's got on, and the 90s are crazy.
This bothered the shit out of me.
The 90s are insane.
I'm like, if they want to do fat,
Yeah.
you can put so much more on her.
Right.
Like, she took it off, and I'm like, you're not even fat.
Yeah. It's a woman who, and I guess it's like maybe a dress that's a size too small.
Look
on
at
her.
how fucking big Drew is.
Well, yeah, and it's also, I think the interesting thing here is they've created a dynamic where, and I love all women, but like I think Mimi as a character is presented as a larger, overweight woman. Yeah. So then, like, to try to paint any woman by comparison
100%.
is a bizarre thing here. It's also just bizarre.
Actually, I love that you brought up Mimi, because Mimi is 100% that, and they lean into this, oh, Mimi's grotesque thing.
Yeah,
like she's a troll, whatever. And like now they're trying to paint Nikki as fat, and I'm just like, she's not even like. You can tell that they did something to her.
Sure,
they put a little under her dress. I'm sure they're trying to make her appear a little,
or adding a chin with makeup or something.
Exactly, but I'm just like, I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, it's also, again, this is just, again, it's kind of the era. You know what I mean? Like, I think like there was a body standard in the 90s.
That's different than now.
That's different than now for sure. I don't know. It's crazy. It's to the point where like everybody started laughing when she took the thing off in the studio audience, and then you get Lewis being like, "Oh,
yeah,
no, you look fine," and like doing like weird darting eyes. I'm like, they're really trying to sell this in a way that I just don't think it would work today.
It does not work.
No,
today.
it's bizarre. But clearly, Drew doesn't care. Drew Drew agrees with us because he's like, no, you look great. What are you talking about? Though he continues to
even
make
Drew
it worse.
is just like trying to tell her a nice, but like Drew believes that she's chubby.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
You could tell in the way that like Drew. I think you can tell in the way like in his tenor and his voice.
Yeah.
You can tell he's trying to be like, oh no, you know,
he's polishing a turd.
Yes, exactly. I think even Drew was like that. Now I do think he gets into more sincere moments, and we'll get to it like late in the episode.
But I don't know. Anyway, he only continues to make it worse while he's talking to her because he's talking about how sexy the dress looks, and he's like, I like this little slit in the back, and she's like, what slit in the back?
She tore the dress.
She ripped the dress, folks. Can nothing contain me, I think she says.
Yeah.
So, and then Kate kind of has to be the one to talk her down and be like, you look fine, and, you know, everybody has their thing, and, you know, just don't worry about it. It's all okay. So, Kate catches a stray here, by the way. It'd just be like, you know, I have my weight, and you have your hair.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
women are so catty.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
women be doing that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, Nikki,
Nikki doesn't want to go.
Nikki doesn't want to go.
And she's not going to go, so Drew ends up going.
Yeah.
We smash cut to the place, and Drew...
They're all working on their light cues and everything. We get an idea.
Kate is there,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like Drew took Kate in a way, but not really.
We get an idea that it might be chaotic from the start because Drew comes in and raises his hands, and suddenly like this angelic sort of music starts with it.
Yeah, there was a big music cue and
just
lights.
Not going good. Like they're like doing too much, Oswald and Lewis. Like, you know, there's a bit there they talk about like, you know, a confetti cannon that they've got, and Drew's like, no, we don't gotta go that big for this. So yeah, you know, we start the speeches, and in the middle of the first one, Nikki comes in, and Nikki's like, "Hey, just want to let you know I thought about it.
I'm here to support you.
I'm here for you. You mean so much to me." And
yeah, she kept the jacket on.
Yeah, she did. Well, you know,
yeah,
we can't get that far with it.
Right.
But yeah, so Drew's so touched by this that when he goes to give his speech, he asks Kate, "Hey, can you tell the boys up in the booth? I want to put a spotlight on Nikki, and I just want to thank her for coming out and make her feel loved and just, you know, whatever." So it's like it's him touching the back of his hair is the cue. So anyway, Drew goes up there and starts, you know, giving his spiel, and it's not going great.
No, he has a few corny jokes, and then he's like, I just want to say real quick, though, I am so lucky because I'm here with the most beautiful girl in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Which, come on, Drew.
Yeah, you're setting her up.
Already a low bar.
He also hasn't, we should also just say,
Cleveland,
in case it wasn't apparent, hasn't ran this by Nikki that he's going to do this. So yeah, he makes the motion, and they put a spotlight on the most beautiful girl in Cleveland, and she is like elbow deep in a chicken.
Oh my God, I've never eaten a chicken like that.
Like we got like sauce all on the face.
She's sauced up.
Yeah, she's on the sauce, dude. Yeah, no, she's real bad. So, and then Drew he understands what's happening, and he tries to like get them to move the light, but then Nikki starts moving, and they keep the spotlight on her as she moves out the door. And then, you know, Drew tells the boys, I think at one point, that they're fired, and they just hear the word fire, which was the cue for the confetti cannon.
Yeah, and then they shoot off a confetti cannon,
and it just it's not.
And then Drew walks off.
Yeah,
and honestly, he got a pretty good reception still.
Yeah, okay,
for all the crazy shit that happened.
Though we do come home, Drew comes back, and he
immediately finds out he lost on the voicemail.
Well, not only that, the voicemail itself was incredible because Ms. Lauder says Anderson got up. Some guy named Anderson got up after. He was drunk as fuck. He offended every ethnic group imaginable, and he exposed himself, and he still beat Drew.
Damn.
Yeah.
A classic Anderson.
Yeah.
I knew from the beginning, I was like, Anderson's got this in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy doesn't even try.
That guy's charisma.
Yeah. I do like that Winfred Lauder is worried about this sexual harassment lawsuit, and they just gave 500 shares of the company to a dude that exposed himself. That's a pretty good bit. So... Anyway, Drew goes out back to shoot pool because he can't find Nikki.
Yeah, I like that his coping is I'm gonna go shoot pool outside.
Well, if you had a pool table in your backyard, that would 1,000% be yours.
Oh, dude, I didn't even tell you. My parents just moved into this new apartment.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't tell anyone this. This is my favorite thing. So they got this new next door neighbor named Ed.
Hell yeah.
He's a bachelor. He's probably in like his 50s.
Is this, I was going to say, it's like a 55 and older apartment situation?
No, it's not.
just anywhere.
He might be in his 40s. I don't know. But
So we got Bachelor Ed.
He's a real Italian-looking guy. He's like he looks like he's from Jersey or something.
Sure.
And he's got like the dark hair, and he was wearing like a sweatsuit. And anyway, he's got a doormat that says "fuck off," and then he's like, "Sorry about that. That's my buddies just got me that." And then you open up the door, and he has instead of where you would put your couch,
He's got a pool table.
He's got a pool table,
Motherfucking man.
and then where you put your kitchen table, he's got a poker table, and then he's got all Pittsburgh sports memorabilia. And then he made the second bedroom a living room, and then he has a bedroom. And anyway, he's just like, yeah, people are like, you don't got a living room, but I got it. It's just any other bedroom.
That's incredible.
But he's like, I shoot a lot of pool. I'm like, I fucking hope so, my guy. It's like half your goddamn apartment's a pool table.
Wait, hold on. Did you say if there's a kitchen table? Does he eat at the poker table?
He eats at the poker table.
That fucking rules.
And then my dad is,
goddamn.
My dad was talking to him, and he's like, Ed was like, you come over play pool every time. So my dad saved the pool cue from home, and he's going to go shoot pool and drink beer with Ed. But honestly, I went in, and he has the whole thing set up to Alexa. He wanted to show us. But I was like, this guy's kind of badass.
Yeah.
But I'm not, when we walked away, I was like, I'm not convinced it's not part of like some, like, I don't know, relocation program for former mobsters. Because I'm like,
he's that Italian.
He looked that Italian. And he's like a bachelor. He's a handsome guy, but he's fully a bachelor.
Yeah.
And like he loves clearly gambling and pool. And I'm like, this guy might be like witness. A relocation.
Trouble.
Yeah.
This might not be good.
But you know what? Yeah,
I can't. This is going to end with
that's my parents' new neighbors.
I just hope it doesn't end with like a police shootout and your mom's just like, oh, I should have known, Ed. God damn. Shout out Ed. Shout out your folks.
Ed.
Shout out pool. Drew's going out there to shoot pool, and Nikki's on the pool table.
Yeah.
She's like just depressed and despondent. She's looking up at the stars. She's like, just shoot around me. She was like, no. So they have this nice heart to heart about her weight and his weight, and why it should or shouldn't matter. I think Drew handles it really nicely, and he's just like, I think it's like it's a more to love situation.
Definitely, this is the most like I was saying earlier. This is the most that I feel like Drew's like, don't like worry about this at all. Because before, I really think Drew was like a little uncomfortable with the weight thing too, at least around the group or whatever, like trying to be like, oh no, you look fine, like just kind of saying it. Now I felt a real sincerity, and he loves it, I think, to some extent. I mean, that seems like his dream.
Well, it goes back to the opening. He's finally got a partner in crime that he can share this love of food for.
But even at the end of this, Nikki's still like, I gotta lose weight,
right? So. And he's also supportive of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a weird fetish thing, and it's not like it gets like it's fine. It's whatever you want, and I'll be here for you. So
that's kind of where we left.
Good guy Drew.
This is probably the end of fat quote Nikki.
Yeah. Oh, I should also say, just because we've talked it up a whole lot, we skipped right by it. But while Nikki for a second in that kitchen scene is going to go to the event, and then what triggers her to not go again is this random fucking dude comes in, who, like, I guess worked at a bar or something.
Oh,
the cameo that we could not recognize.
The cameo that we could not figure out.
This black gentleman comes in with like glasses. He's a younger looking dude.
Just brings the house down.
Huge applause break for this guy.
Again, Bernie Kosar got nothing.
No, not a damn thing.
This guy got they had to pause the show.
Yeah.
And Drew was like,
had to repeat a line. What's
repeat
up?
a line, yeah.
But anyway, I guess he's like a bartender. It sounded like in this world or something. And Drew, they got his keys. I don't know if they're office keys or his house keys. Whatever.
He was like, "Oh yeah, I got the keys," and somebody said they were for this hot couple.
Yeah.
And Drew was like, "See," he pointing to Nikki, and then
look at it.
And then he was like, "So I went to the hot couple, and they were like, no, they belong to the chubby couple."
Yeah, and then that sets Nikki off. She runs out.
So that's why she doesn't go. But who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know if we should know. I don't know if it's like an ABC sitcom like reference, or if it's like,
you know what? That's a great guess.
That's my guess. My guess is it's also like, I don't know. It's got to be another sitcom that we haven't watched before. So apologies to that man. I wish I knew who you were.
But if you want to come on the pod, open invitation. Also,
Oh, to the guy.
Yeah, to the guy.
I was gonna say, if you know who it is, please email us and tell us who it is. And if you have like a link to something, that'd be huge.
That'd be awesome.
You can't come on the pod, but whoever the
you're
actor
not allowed,
is,
but
can
the
come
actor
on the
can.
pod.
Once you get us his name, we're gonna hit him up.
Yeah. And then the credit scene ends, lest we forget, Mimi is still in this lawsuit.
Yeah.
And she's going around, and basically checks seem like they're not going through to employees unless you give a donation to her sexual harassment lawsuit fund. So she's basically coercing a guy to give money to her fund and bullying him into giving more, but he only gives a couple of coins.
Yeah.
So that's how this ends. But yeah, those are those eps.
That's it.
Yeah. Again, if you know who that guy is, or if you just want to say anything to us, you
Please
can email
write
us. clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com. We're on the Instagram, Cleveland Rocks Podcast, YouTube @Cleveland Rocks Podcast. I think that's all we have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Later.